What was your mum like?
Sorry, I just have to take a minute.
You're okay. A brave woman? Very brave, yeah.
All I remember is turning around to check on my mum and seeing my dad with a knife in his hand.
He looks like he doesn't have a care in the world. Minutes earlier, he'd stabbed his wife to death in front of 300 people, including one of his daughters. The courts, the law, the police were no protection. He'd vowed to kill her. She feared he would, but help never came. Arman, Zahra's son, is 24 years old.
The agonising and searing pain that this coward has caused us is one that will last a lifetime.
These are the hardest words he'll ever write. The coward is his father, and it's the day of his sentence.
We saw this murder coming, and it could have been stopped by authorities. Ladies and gentlemen, today is just another day. It is just another day where the system failed to protect a brave woman, a caring friend, a loving mother.
Married for 30 years, Zia and Zahra had 3 children. She was Iranian and he was a lawyer from Afghanistan. 14 years ago, they came to Australia, settling in Adelaide. To the outside world, he was a good man.
He was highly regarded. He was seen as a gentleman. He was seen as a hard-working man.
A pillar of the community.
Correct, yes. Yeah, people would always look up to him.
But at home, he was a tyrant, regularly bashing his wife and children.
Since I was little, I remember my dad being abusive towards my mum and myself and my brother, yeah. So it was normal.
There would be times where arguments would escalate. Then it would lead to my father abusing my mother, be it a slap in the face, whip with the belt.
How bad?
To the point that the bruise wouldn't go away for weeks.
I do remember at one stage my mum was on the floor unconscious and my dad was still kicking her.
To put up with that for nearly 30 years. Yeah. She was an amazing woman. She would push all the violence and abuse aside because she knew that if she endured enough, then her kids would be able to have a better life.
In February 2009, a family argument escalated into terrifying rage.
He was making threats against her, saying that I will kill you. That I'll kill you all.
I'll kill you all. I'll burn the house down and kill you all inside.
That was the last straw.
Zahra took her children, fled the house and went into hiding. Zia angrily told his brother that she dishonoured and humiliated him.
His world was completely changed.
Yes, he was no longer in control.
The first time we met, she said to me, I fear for my life. So my husband will find me and he will kill me.
Stephanie Shevlin, a family court lawyer, met Zahra 2 weeks before she fled. Zahra wanted a divorce and protection.
What was within her power to protect herself and her children?
The only real option was to obtain a domestic violence restraining order.
So she did. But his intimidation continued. On several occasions, on access visits with his youngest daughter, Zia made direct threats.
What was he saying?
He was saying that he would take his revenge. He was saying that every action has a reaction, and that there would be consequences for my mother's actions.
And you took those as threats
Yes.
to kill your mother.
To kill, harm, yes.
Police didn't know, did they?
No, regardless of us reporting it to the police, they didn't see it as a breach of the restraining order.
As sad and unfortunate as that is, in a legal sense it does not constitute a breach of the order.
How can that
in a
be?
legal sense? Well, that's the law.
For South Australian Assistant Commissioner Brian Fay, the difficulty for police is determining when is a threat really a threat.
No one really knows or can prove what they meant. Was it about a threat to Zahra's life or the children's life, or was it a line that the offender was saying that he might destroy the house or do something along those lines? And so when the threats are not clear and constitute a breach of the law, the police have no authority to act.
Zahra went into hiding. She changed addresses and rarely left the house. Terrified she'd be tracked down by Zia and his family. Then, the system completely failed her.
Through his lawyers, Zia asked for the restraining order to be relaxed, to allow him to attend public functions, even if his wife was also there. Zahra went to court to beg them not to do this. But the prosecutor warned her if she lost, she risked losing the protection order completely. Zia won the day.
The variation should never have been made because it enabled Mr Abrahimzadeh to have access to Zahra, which he would never ordinarily have had. If that access hadn't been available to him, then the events on that night wouldn't have taken place.
10 days later, Zia made his way alone to the Adelaide Convention Centre. Inside were 300 people, including his wife and daughter, Atena, celebrating the Iranian New Year. CCTV footage shows him pacing and on the phone before entering the auditorium. His wife had no idea he was so close. Hidden in his jacket pocket is a knife.
Zahra's decision to attend the party was not taken lightly. She knew Zia didn't like such big social functions, and tickets had sold out well before he'd applied for the variation to the restraining order. But 20 minutes after Zahra arrived, into the room walked Zia.
And I was like, oh my God. My mum was shocked. We were all shocked. And he was just getting closer and closer and closer.
Atena was scared. She pleaded with security and arranged for an escort to their car once it was time to leave. They hadn't left immediately because they believed Zahra was safer surrounded by so many people.
As the evening wound down, Zia suddenly rushed towards his wife, stabbing her 8 times in the back and head.
I remember hanging onto his jacket and just saying, you killed her. And there were men that were hanging on to him, they were holding him, they were pushing him into another room.
Sorry, Sunday the 21st of March.
Zia was dragged into the convention centre's kitchen.
I'm Constable Timothy Casadon from Hindley Street Police.
He'd just stabbed his wife of 30 years. He was calm. He was composed. Emotionless. His greatest concern was that his glasses needed cleaning.
Just sitting there waiting, like as if nothing had happened. He's just waiting
No guilt,
No,
no remorse.
nothing.
You're under arrest, okay? You're under arrest for attempt murder.
His hands were covered for later forensic tests. As he was being handcuffed, Zahra, his wife, was fighting for her life. That night, she would die in hospital.
I could see a trail of blood, which was from my mother when she was being taken into the theatre. And there was a nurse mopping up the blood.
Arman and his sisters are now campaigning for greater penalties for domestic violence and for a tougher response from authorities to breaches of violence orders.
Did the system fail, Zahra Abrahimzadeh?
Well, ultimately, yes. But what part of it, I'm not sure. This was a person that was hell-bent on killing her and did so.
Zia was sentenced to life in jail. Afterwards, his brother spoke on his behalf.
Well, I think it was not really justice for him. I think it should come down to a manslaughter because of a lot of provocation has been done to him.
Zia, who is appealing his sentence, wrote to his children after the murder, blaming their mother.
When you know someone is trying to destroy you in any possible way, you would defend yourself. And sometimes this defense results in the destruction of the opposing party. I think I am also a victim of what happened.
Regardless of the sentence, nothing will ever bring my mother back, nor will it give us any form of closure on this horrific chapter of our lives. Thank you.